So over the weekend, and this is
Well
important,
wrapped.
I always tell people Canada is a very important petri dish because a lot of Americans don't understand these laws that exist in other Commonwealth countries where they don't have the Constitution of the United States. And in Canada, this is very close, so you don't have to go all the way over to Europe. And you would be surprised when you go to Canada just how American it seems in so many ways on its surface. And then you go just a couple layers deeper and you realize that the rights you take for granted on a daily basis are one brush of the pen away from going away forever. So over the weekend, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that gun rights as they relate to self-defense don't exist in Canada.
We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership.
Okay, sorry, we got the wrong clip. I apologize. That's not him, but here is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau saying that you have no right to self-defense with firearms in Canada.
Yeah.
And there are debates, and we have a culture where the difference is guns can be used for hunting or for sport shooting in Canada, and there's lots of gun owners, and they're mostly law-respecting and law-abiding. But you can't use a gun for self-protection in Canada. That's not a right that you have in the Constitution or anywhere else. If you try and buy a gun and say it's for self-protection, no, you don't get that. You get it for hunting. You can get it for sport shooting. You can take it to the range. No problem, as long as you go through our rigorous background checks. But there's a difference around the culture. And one of the things that we're seeing with the debate in the States is you get more and more of the American-style, right to carry, self-defense arguments filtering up through the the usual more right-wing communications channels.
Yeah, crazy. By the way, that's a good thing. I like that he says more right-wing because he's saying those crazy right-wingers believe that you have the right to defend your home and your wife and your private property. We don't believe that here in Canada. Keep in mind, when you're talking about the Second Amendment, when you're looking at the actual case law, when you're looking at Heller versus D.C., look at the dissenting opinions here in the United States. It was private citizens have no right to own a firearm whatsoever. So when people on the left are saying, the Second Amendment's not absolute, which is why that was the question of the day, what they're not saying we need an assault weapons ban. They're not saying we should have a waiting period, which, by the way, I'm also against. They're saying that private citizens don't have the right to own a firearm whatsoever because we've misinterpreted the Constitution. Therefore, we become exactly like Canada. And he is saying you get it for hunting. Well, he grants it. Keep in mind, these assholes still have the royalty on their money. So he's saying, we grant it. I allow you to. I'm tired of Canadians acting as though they're better than the United States. We fought off the royalty because we didn't believe in them. That's why we left. You bent the knee. You're a nation founded on cowardice. And I say this as a Canadian with great shame. Canada is a nation founded on cowardice. The United States is a nation founded upon a violent revolution. Violence is not immoral. That's immoral. Robbing people of the right to defend themselves is immoral. You want to know what else is immoral? Let me give you a few examples of what has happened in Canada. We're not the rapist, the murderer, the criminal, the home invader being punished, but the defender of their own life and livelihood punished. So we have, after being stabbed in the head while sleeping, Vincent Bunn stabbed his assailant to death. He was sleeping, stabbed in the head. He stabbed the other guy who was stabbing. Well, he was sentenced for murder. The man who was stabbed in his sleep.
Yeah.
I think if someone stabs you in your sleep, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want to that guy. I don't give a rat's ass what you do with the corpse.
Yeah.
Fold it like a pizza slice and put it in the bird feeder for all I care. He was stabbing you in your sleep. In Canada, you get arrested if you stab back.
Yeah, and to be fair, they said he stabbed him too many times. The 13th stab is what actually killed him because they were still fighting, and then kicked him a couple of times after that. That was what, he was dead and you kicked him a couple of times.
Right.
That's interesting.
Then there's Ian Thompson. He fired 3 rounds from a revolver to scare off a group who was firebombing his home. What happened? He was the one charged with pointing a firearm along with 2 counts of careless storage of a firearm. Actually, I don't think that was careless. I think that was very prudent storage because you were able to access your firearm when your home was being firebombed.
Right. And by the way, Joe Biden said fire 2 shots in the air. He did it into the ground, or essentially the same thing. Come on.
Yeah.
Get your story straight, guys.
Brian Knight.
Really fighting fire with fire.
Right.
Arm,
Yeah.
really. I mean, you should be allowed to, whatever.
I want to fight fire with death of those lighting the fire.
Yeah, they're lucky they didn't get shot.
Yes, I have no problem with someone setting a fire, firebombing someone's house or personal property. I have no problem with the victim shooting them. And I don't see the people committing the crime, even if they were killed, to be victims.
I'd prefer it.
You forfeit your right to live when you do that. Brian Knight.
Absolutely, you do.
Another man in Canada convicted after shooting a man who was attempting to steal his ATV. Just to be clear, this is one of those things where, you know what? Hey, I believe if someone is on your property trying to steal, destroy your stuff, and I tried to go in descending order with the most absurd. You have people in the UK, by the way, as well, who've been arrested for using fake guns, for instilling fear in home invaders. This is what happens in the countries where the Second Amendment isn't absolute. And the arrogance that you see with that Prime Minister blackface. By the way, is no one going to... Did he just get a pass on that? Megyn Kelly was fired because she said that when she was a kid, she dressed up like Diana Ross for Halloween. And this guy gets to do blackface 1,900 times and no one cares? This is the guy who's now in control of your right to defend your own life and limb? You guys don't see a problem with this?
You don't have that right, remember.
In Canada, you don't.
You don't have it.
I can give it to you for hunting. If you kiss the ring.
How is he allowed to just make all these decisions just him?
Well, it's Canada and it's absurd.
It's amazing, though. He has no effect on me personally.
Right.
And I've never hated someone so much.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And it's wrong to hate.
It is wrong to hate.
But I get it.
But, I mean, as far as costuming goes, great at blackface.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, really the best.
He really commits to
Connoisseur.
it.
Yes,
Because he doesn't
I
just do
mean-
black face. He does black arms. He does black legs.
He goes all the way.
He goes all the way.
Well, this is what happens when you trust
like a Bollywood
institutions,
movie.
right? This is what happens when you trust them. And you say, look, we're going to give you all the power that we want, and we're scared, and the government needs to take care of us. Listen,
But he's
I don't know that
sadistic.
anybody would have said that Justin Trudeau, like, you couldn't fit him for a black hat early on, right? You could probably say, if you knew Justin Trudeau, be like, oh, he's probably not going to be a good prime minister. But now it's like, wait, he's literally saying you have no right to defend yourself with a firearm or property, really, by extension,
Right.
at all. Like, it doesn't exist. How many steps further do you think he could possibly go?
And by the way, I should be clear. This isn't new.
No.
He's just reiterating what I have communicated here, and people have said that's a straw man. It's not. I've lived it. I lived there. I know it. And it's gotten worse. And it's getting worse. And this guy is arrogant about it. And guess what? You just need the Supreme Court to tilt the wrong direction, or you pack it, and the wrong person in the White House for that to happen right here. And I'm not talking about AR-15s for people who are going, ooh, you love to separate it. Ooh, AR-15s because you don't know anything about firearms. Your revolver, your basic handgun, your pump shotgun, your hunting rifle. It will be rendered useless for self-defense because that's what they have done everywhere not named the United States of America. And by the way, speaking of this, in the United States, Michael Moore, who looks like a transitioning Walter White, would like America to adopt this exact same position. Here he is on MSNBC saying that we don't need guns, and we'll have him here in studio.
I think that we need some really drastic action here. We need a moratorium, perhaps, on gun sales. We need to. Who will say on this network or any other network in the next few days, it's time to repeal the Second Amendment?
Sorry, I'm writing down a note that he's an asshole.
Oh, I told you that.
Those are some pretty rough. I mean, no, I want to say it's not at all something that I didn't expect. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but look, respect to anyone who's willing to reach across the aisle and have a conversation, as extreme as he may be. Wanted to bring in Michael Moore to explain our home state of Michigan, and here he is. We'll bring him in studio. All right, so this was over the weekend. Of course, Michael Moore, we just showed you, said we have to repeal the Second Amendment. Here he is to explain his point of view. Michael Moore, thank you for being here, sir.
You guys need ramps. There are so many stairs here.
We don't have any stairs in the studio. We just have it's a curb, really.
Yeah, I'd say a step, maybe.
Well, this place isn't ADA compliant. I had to park my mobility scooter outside.
Oh, I didn't know that was it was actually just a forklift with a Free Willy hammock.
Potato. That's my truth.
Okay. Let's get down to it. You think the Second Amendment should be repealed, is what we
Yes, I've always been anti-gun, but now I've had enough.
And you've had enough? Something he's probably never said after a meal.
No, I don't.
I've closed down more restaurants than COVID. Hey, are you shaming me?
A little bit,
Okay,
yep.
well, Steven, listen.
Yeah?
You guys all making fun of me because I'm a fat person is just low-hanging fruit, which is also the only thing I won't eat.
You don't really strike me as a vegetable guy either.
Right.
Veggie what?
They're an edible type of plant. It doesn't really matter. To your other point, you think that no one should have guns, Mr. Moore. Do you agree with the Prime Minister just because it seems your justification is you don't like them?
70% of us do not own firearms. We are not a nation of gun owners.
We are actually absolutely a nation of gun owners, and we have the right to defend ourselves, and your stat is not correct.
Then I say guns shouldn't be in the home. We should do what other countries do and store them at the gun range. Similar to how I store travel sandwiches in Amazon lockers all across America.
Wait, what? What's a travel sandwich?
What is that? What's a travel sandwich?
Oh, those are sandwiches that I make to take on the road with me when I go on adventures to get fast food.
I would imagine that those sandwiches the Amazon lockers are first floor Amazon lockers.
Yeah, I can't go use stairs.
Right. So you make hold on a second. I want to make sure I understand. You make a sandwich to go pick up food?
Yes, a travel sandwich.
You are an absolute animal. You're a disgusting human being, but let's get back on track. So safely keeping a gun in your house, by the way, is what makes sense. People keeping firearms in their home, not in travel sandwich lockers. If someone breaks in...
Then get a dog.
Well, I have both a gun and a dog.
Yeah.
Pick one.
No, there's no reason that responsible gun owners should have. That's the thing. I think you should get a dog. I think a dog is better than a gun, but you should have both, and you don't have the right to take people.
And you have the right to both, yeah.
All right. Well, let me explain it like this, okay?
Okay, it's an analogy.
All right. Yes, an analogy.
He brought a snack.
Now, let's imagine... Okay, hold on. First, let me get all the gross stuff off of here.
Yeah. All the vegetables?
Oh, that's what those are?
Yes, that's what... Yeah.
Okay, now let's imagine this triple whopper is the Second Amendment, okay?
You got a triple.
Triple whopper.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know they made those.
So we're just going to take it apart bite by bite.
All right.
Bump stocks.
Can't have those no more.
Oh, God.
9mm pistols? Can't have that. Might blow around.
Well, at least the work.
So good.
You just came here to eat a burger, didn't you, Michael Moore?
Nothing like that. I did that.
All right, that's enough. Get out of here. That's disgusting. All right.
That guy needs to go on a diet.
Again,
Something.
Stephen and I, as ambassadors for the state of Michigan, would like to apologize for Michael Moore.
well-
as we have on several occasions.
You know he's going to come out
It's never enough.
in a couple years as a woman. Calling it now.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.